exhibiciones in one night, because why do one exhibition if you could do two? Thank you for joining us. Our first show is called Los Archivos Aspen, the Aspen Archives, and it starts on this wall and follows into the Davis Gallery, which is DU's newest exhibition space, as far as I know. And it's a community gallery, so we thought that this was a great event because it involves so many members of the community, not only in Denver, Aurora, but also throughout the entire state of Colorado, New Mexico, and the Peruvian Highlands, the central Peruvian Highlands, from with the home region of almost all of the sheep herders who work in the United States today, and most of these sheep herders, nearly all of them, are Peruvian. So this exhibit tells the story of at least 100 years of sheep herding in Colorado, and since about the 1980s, most of these chronicles are told in Spanish or Quechua, and they're told on the trunks of aspen trees. So that's sort of the genesis of the exhibit, and the idea is that you can read the aspen arborglyphs and get an idea of transnational labor histories if we pay attention to what we see in the forest. Lots of collaborations for this exhibit. I work in the Spanish department, and I'm a professor of Andean and Quechua studies here at the University of Denver. My name is Allison Crowell. I'm not sure if I told you that. But I'm the curator of this show and the sister show, Andean Art. And I'm not a geographer, and I'm not a photographer, and I'm not a computer scientist, so that's why we have, and I'm also not a biologist or a cartographer, so there are a lot of collaborations here. And I'm also very thankful for all of the sheep herders who have told their stories to me for the past 2 decades, really. I've been working with sheep herding communities on Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, primarily. And some of their stories are told here today. If you don't like our wireless headphones, you can use the QR code to listen to some of the sheep herder testimonies or some of the other interviews that we've done for this project. And poco a poco, we have doblajes, or dubbing into English for the Spanish interviews, and vice versa. ¿Qué más? A couple of people have been working on this project for the 2 years. This was kind of one of my COVID projects. I had a hard time with the pandemic, so I sort of go over the top with my projects. A couple of people have worked on this for 2 years. Keelan Vargas, ¿dónde estás, Keelan? Aquí está Keelan. Keelan Vargas, yay! Keelan is our computer science cartographer, GIS, geographer extraordinaire. That's why she walks around with a computer. Yeah. She graduated from GU while we were still working on the project, and luckily she was so invested in Los Archivos Aspen that she has continued to work on it. So she's our GIS coordinator, our assistant site photographer, and our digital exhibit designer. We hope that you will check out theaspenarchives.org. .org, and you can check out our flyer and just QR code into it if you would like. It's fully bilingual, and it has a lot of interactive features that are not in the exhibit, and Keelan also has it here on her computer. And there's a lot of detail there, and it's been really exciting. The U.S. Forest Service is really keen on using Keelan's work for some preservation work, National Historic Registry work. If you don't register the site, you can't preserve it. So yay GIS, and yay Keelan. Another couple of people who worked on this project for 2 years, Paul Ragas is right here, live streaming to our friends in Peru. And he's the exhibit graphic designer and the lead photographer, also the photo editor for, basically creative problem solver. I have a lot of ideas and limited technological skills, so I come up with things that other people solve for me. So thank you, Keelan and Paul. And then the other person who's worked on this for 2 years plus is Mark Chapman, who is a citizen scientist and photographer who lent hundreds of Kodak slides of arborglyph photographs that he took decades ago and that photography professor Roddy McGinnis scanned for us during the height of COVID. And Roddy is around here, I think, somewhere. Professor Roddy. Where are you, Roddy? Aquí está. Okay, yay, Roddy. So Roddy worked on this for a really long time. And was instrumental in sort of inviting the Peruvian community into the Davis Gallery space. And Roddy is an expert in bringing community to DU and an inspiration for many of us. Denver Post photojournalist RJ Sangosi also contributed a lot to this project with the 9 photographs there that you see in large format of sheep herders that is part of his Moving Wool exhibition. He is from the Denver Post. ¿Dónde estás, RJ? I saw him somewhere. He's around. Where? Oh, he just left. Anyway, we're very thankful for his contribution, and you can check out more of his just by Googling Moving Wool, and he chronicles sheep herder work in the northwestern area of Colorado. One more minute here. 30 seconds. Greg Storch. Absolutely couldn't have done this without him. I'm not sure. I think he was going to come. Greg, it sounds like he bilingual administrative support for 2 years. Very thankful for him. Also, Pablo Landeo Munoz and Olivia Reginaldo, award-winning Quechua poets, whose work was specially commissioned for this show that you can hear in Quechua. You can read it, and you can also read English language translations in the exhibit and on the digital story map. ¿Qué más? You can see the work of Professors Nia Mulvey and Timothy Weaver in this show as well. They're both here from the University of Denver. And Jeffrey Sheamus is right here. He's the director of this gallery, the Mickey Mary Gallery. We hope that you will check out this exhibit, Transformative Power, Indigenous Feminisms, that is an interesting companion piece after seeing the Aspen archives. So thank you, Jeffrey and all of his team for helping us with installation. And our community partners, the Peruvian Consulate of Denver, Consul General Rolando Negri, aquí está. Y gracias. Y el Vice Consul Freddy Martínez, aquí está Freddy también, gracias a los dos. Years and years of collaborations. Many projects working with the community, the Peruvian community of this region, and specifically with Quechua sheep herders. So there are many more people. Please scan our acknowledgements QR code for video editors, audio editors, voice actors, student researchers, translators, and funders. Thank you, funders. You can see them all if you scan the QR code. So thank you to everybody who worked on this very large project. And then a final thing, Exposición Yapa. In Peru, we say Yapa is like that little bit of extra when you go to the market and you buy like a kilo of something, and if the market lady likes you, she'll give you extra. So that's your Yapa. So our Yapa tonight is an Andean art exhibit just across the street. It's called Andean Art, Chronicle, Diplomacy, Sacrifice, Arte Andino, Crónica, Diplomacia y Sacrificio, which I was also thankful to curate. And this exhibit showcases a lot of interesting pieces, beautiful pieces, singular pieces from Dr. Erika Trigoso and Dr. Stephen McElroy's collection. Here's Erika, and Stephen is over here. There's Stephen. So we thank you for lending us your pieces. Beautiful contemporary Andean art pieces of many genres. Also large-scale reproductions of the Peruvian indigenous historical chronicler Felipe Huamampoma de Ayala. If any of you are Felipe Huamampoma de Ayala fans, but you don't like looking at historical chronicles online, this is your big chance. Very large historical reproductions of 394 images from his groundbreaking watershed chronicle in 1609, basically showing you in images what happened during the Spanish conquest. And if you weren't sure, he tells you. He tells you in Quechua, he tells you in Aymara, he tells you in Spanish. And so we have some of those reproductions across the street. And our friends from the DU Museum of Anthropology team, Sarah Carlson, Anna Amati, and Professor Christina Krebs, director of DUMA, are here, and Sarah Carlson. They're happy to answer any questions questions about that exhibit, and hopefully after folks check out the Aspen Archives exhibit, you can walk just across the street and learn some about pre-Inca, Inca, and contemporary Andean art, and have a full DU in Peru experience. Both exhibits are open for the next month and change, and I'm offering some bilingual gallery tours, curator tours on several dates. So if you or your neighbors or your students, if your teacher are interested in this, I can give you those dates. They were also in the invite email. Or you can, just email allison.krogel@du.edu and I'll give you the dates. And, ¿qué más? ¿Qué más? Oh, last thing. Shout out to Quechua language literary production, contemporary, the last 10, 15 years, over there on that book display. If any of you are wondering what's been published in indigenous languages in Peru in the last couple of decades, now's your chance to check it out. DU's libraries are super great about acquiring small press literary and cultural production pieces, so these are some really interesting poetry collections written by authors from the Andean regions of Bolivia, Ecuador, y Peru. So, con eso me paro. I'm going to invite you to have some more Peruvian food if there is any left from our friends at Red Llama. And I just wanted to welcome, with a few words, Consul General of Peru, Roland Tenegri, to say a few words about Peru, the Peruvian community in Denver, and some of the partnerships between DU and Peru in Colorado. So please help me welcome Consul General Roland Tenegri.
Bueno, muy buenas tardes, good afternoon everybody. Primero que nada, agradecerle su presencia, decirle que estoy muy honrado, muy orgulloso de estar esta tarde en Denver University. I'm very proud to be here with you at Denver University this afternoon, and I will let myself to read some ideas that I would like to share with you about this magnificent exhibition of the Aspen Archives. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is a sincere and pleasant honor for me to have the opportunity to participate in this opening of this fabulous exhibition, the Aspen Archives, Sheepherder Testimonies, organized with the main sponsorship of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Science from Denver University, and with Dr. Alison Krogel as a curator. I want to thank and congratulate Alison Krogel and all her colleagues and collaborators at Denver University for having made possible this magnificent exhibition of the Aspen Archives, which highlights the presence of the hard work of Peruvian sheepherders in the forests and Colorado mountains for more than half a century. These hieroglyphs and messages carved in the Aspen woods are a testimony of the Peruvian labor and cultural presence in one of the most precious spaces for the citizens of Colorado, such as its forests and mountains. And these Peruvian shepherds have had their Quechua sensitivity, their Andean worldview and culture, their living style marked by collective work and their respect and veneration for nature as a contribution to the social and economic evolution of Colorado. With the Aspen Digital Archives that are inaugurated today, I'm sure that the importance and value of the work carried out by Peruvian sheepherders on ranches in the high mountains areas of Colorado will become more visible and will allow as well the federal, state, and local authorities to expand their capacities and law enforcement to more effectively supervise the preservation of labor rights and the improvement of working and living conditions of these Peruvian sheepherders in the Midwest of the United States.
Hola.
Yeah.
Esperemos. Con esta inauguración de los archivos Aspen se concluye una primera etapa de intensa cooperación entre la Denver University y el Consulado General del Perú en Denver, que se enmarcó en el memorándum de entendimiento promovido por Alison Krogel desde el año 2020 y que permitió ejecutar 3 iniciativas concretas que fueron implementadas bajo los programas educativos de la Universidad de Denver, orientados a contrarrestar el aislamiento físico al que se ven enfrentados los pastores ovejeros peruanos cuando llegan a trabajar a los Estados Unidos. En la implementación de este MOU, la Denver University aportó instrumentos digitales para enseñar inglés a los pastores ovejeros peruanos desde el castellano y o del quechua. Elaboró material infográfico para la difusión del valor y conocimiento del idioma quechua entre los miembros de la comunidad peruana de Colorado, y para lo cual se usaron las plataformas digitales de la Universidad de Denver y del Consulado Peruano en Denver. Asimismo, con el apoyo de la profesora Alison Krogel, se remitieron a dichos pastores ovejeros peruanos materiales impresos con los contenidos educativos y culturales del Ministerio de Cultura del Perú, proporcionados por el Consulado del Perú en Denver, sobre temas de la historia y manifestaciones culturales de las poblaciones quechohablantes de los Andes centrales y del altiplano peruano. Asimismo, durante la pandemia del COVID-19, la profesora Alison Krogel tuvo a bien producir una serie de videos informativos a través de plataformas digitales como YouTube y SoundCloud, mediante los cuales promovió la difusión de información sobre el virus y el acceso a las vacunas contra el COVID-19 en idiomas quechua y castellano, entre los pastores ovejeros peruanos en ranchos de Colorado y entre la población quechua hablante residente en Colorado, como en la ciudad de Longmont, donde residen 10.000 peruanos aproximadamente, la gran mayoría procedente de localidades de los Andes centrales del Perú. Por lo cual, Alison, el Consulado del Perú y toda la comunidad peruana estamos muy reconocidos. With today's inauguration of the Aspen Archives, this dynamic of cooperation embodied in the MOU between Denver University and the Consulate of Peru in Denver becomes consolidated, and it made possible to provide a friendly approach to the delicate issue of the vulnerability of the labor rights of Peruvian shepherds in the American Midwest, a situation aggravated by the physical isolation to which they are faced due to the working condition in the ranches, and which generates the condition for cases of labor abuse. Before concluding, I would also want to acknowledge the University of Denver for having implemented in parallel the exhibition on the work of the Peruvian chronicler Felipe Guamán Poma de Ayala, Camina el autor, Nueva Crónica y Buen Gobierno, which is exhibited today with the panels donated by the Consulate of Peru in Denver to this prestigious university in 2021. This work by Guamán Poma was conceived and addressed to King Felipe III of Spain to inform him and denounce the injustices and mistreatment suffered by the original inhabitants of Peru after the Spanish conquest and colonization, describing with drawings the development and culture of the Andean civilization, the destruction of its harmony by the fever for gold of the Spanish conqueror, and denounced these abuses to the King of Spain with the hope of regenerating a world where people from the Andes and from Europe could live in harmony. Part of the same is still expressed in these Aspen archives, marks carved in nature to combat the loneliness of Andean sheep herders who seek to recover their harmony in new mountains, hoping to progress economically through work. Por eso, los peruanos de Colorado y su consulado estamos muy agradecidos a Denver University, a la profesora Alison Krogel y a todo su equipo de colaboradores por su interés y apoyo en investigar y difundir la enseñanza del idioma y cultura quechua en Colorado, y por su compromiso y amor al Perú expresado en sus esfuerzos en favor de la protección de los derechos laborales de los pastores ovejeros peruanos en estas montañas de Colorado. Muchas gracias.
So everyone, we hope that you learn a lot tonight. We hope that you eat a lot tonight. My assistants, Octavio and Aurelia, who are my assistant site photographers in the highlands of Colorado, are bringing out food every few minutes. So please enjoy yourselves. And when you're done here, please follow the chalk marks, the arrows to the next gallery so that you can check out the Andean art exhibit, please, before you leave. And one more plug for Indigenous art in DU.
I keep this super fast because I know you want to eat. But first off, the gallery was built over the last couple of years. It didn't used to exist there. It's a new space that's for students to exhibit and experiment with exhibiting, both art historians that hang the art and the studio students that make it, but also community projects like this. So many of you I haven't seen in our building, and I hope this is the first of many visits back to us. Part of this was to bring more people and more variety to our offerings here at DU. The other thing, please do go see Indigenous Feminisms. It was curated by a native artist named Diana, what's her last name? Warren, yes, just amazing to have a guest curator do that. And I also want to plug one last thing. We have Rebecca Belmore coming to visit next week. You may not have heard of her, but she's a very, very, very famous performance artist, one of the most famous performance artists. She's giving a talk at Corbell on the top floor on the 3rd at 3 o'clock. If you can't make that, the most important thing to come to is at 5 o'clock. Here at DU, I'm not sure where, but if you just ask around, you'll find out. It may be out on the campus greens, one of these places. She hasn't decided. But Rebecca Belmore is going to do a performance. She is a person of such stature that she did her performances. She's been in the Venice Biennale and things like that. For DU to have her is just an unbelievable opportunity. So all you come back at 5 o'clock on the 6th, Thursday, and come see Rebecca Belmore. Enjoy yourselves, eat. Go see the art, come back and visit us again. All right, thank you, bye. Thank you.